Welcome back to the WCS Season 1 Global Finals. I am Wolf. With me is Kaldor. We're going into a completely different matchup altogether. It's time for Protoss versus Zerg.
Oh yeah, things are getting serious right now. The mirror matches are gone. MVP is in the winner's match. We have his opponent now in the loser's match. Axiom's Ryang not able to clinch out the victory after taking the 1-0 lead in the best of 3. But now we are jumping into a completely different ballgame. We have a Zerg versus Protoss coming up next. We have Alicia up against KangHo.
Yeah, Alicia, definitely a strong Protoss versus Zerg player. He looked really, really strong in Heart of the Storm from the very beginning. You know, he had a few good results in Wings of Liberty, but in Heart of the Storm he looked a lot more of a dominant force. And, you know, playing, of course, with Axiom, having the ability to play in WCS NA, doing really, really well overseas, now made it all the way here to the Global Finals, and he wants to have his first title, really.
Axiom is an amazing, amazing team. They have done so well, not only here in Korea where they played in the GSTL, but also when their players decided to participate in WCS America. They went a long way. We had Crank doing so well, Ryang, of course Alicia, all of them ending up in the top here at WCS America, and it was really interesting to see them perform this well. It's just like the team spirit is driving this team. It is amazing to see what kind of atmosphere they have when they are on the bench and how they talk to each other, how they help each other out and motivate each other. And they don't even have a coach. It's all coming from the players. This is like the passion that they have for Starcraft 2, and it just shows in their performance.
Yeah, it really does. So, you know, a lot of I don't know, homebrewed skill coming out. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just a great team environment there. The players have said so before. We've seen them do well in GSTL, much better than anybody expected. But KangHo is a GSL finalist. He's someone who's been up and down. He's been all around when it comes to playing overseas, playing here in the GSL. And, of course, you know, he's done decently in the past season. And he's from a team that's very much, you know, more rigorously coached. He's from LGIM, one of the strongest teams we've ever had.
Yeah, and well, this is going to be one of those series. I mentioned it a little bit before while we had Alicia talking about what he thinks about the matchup and about his performance at WCS America. Of course, most of the players, they admitted that for them it's a little bit easier to shine in WCS America than it currently is for them to participate in WCS Korea. This is just a shift that is happening right now, and given time, of course, a lot of things will adjust. We will have a lot of the North American players step it up quite a bit, grow with the challenge that they have now in on their own turf. And also the Koreans, of course, just trying to stay dominant in those areas. For now, in the first season, we have a very Korean-dominated tournament as they are still the best players in the entire world. But Alicia especially has to show us now his Protoss versus Zerg, which has been coming a long way for him in WCS America. And this is just one of those games where a lot is on the line. You want to get the lead in this group. This is also very important, but keep in mind, even if you win their first best of 3, it's 2 best of 3s that you have to win to advance to the next round of the tournament, which is going to start tomorrow with the bracket round.
And if you win here, you have to place against MVP, which is not going to be easy for anybody. So obviously, you still want to take the win. You want to get out as easily as you can, as quickly as you can. But it takes 2 wins to 2 best of 3s, 1 to get out of the group, 2 lost, and you're out, and the tournament ends for you here. This is not Code S, where if you lose, you still go down to Code A. This is just the global final. So if you're out, you're out. The double elimination factor that's here is just the group stage.
Exactly, and the players that were able to get into this group stage, who were able to qualify, of course, have already quite a lot of WCS points that they gathered. They also have received already, well, even if you don't completely drop out for your efforts so far, you get $5,000 of prize money. The first place in the season finals is $40,000 and 3,000 WCS points, and that's, of course, amazing. Yeah. All those players are really trying to chase down the WCS points here to participate at the global finals at the end of the year at BlizzCon, and that is going to be the big tournament. But of course, for now, the season finals, that's what it's all about. Yeah,
the season finals is what everybody's focusing on right now. Everybody who loves StarCraft is watching this right now all over the world, no matter what time zone it is. Some people were complaining about time zones earlier, but I think they're probably just getting over it and watching it right now. I know there's some guy who just woke up and he was like, yeah, it's fine, actually. I'm okay. I'm watching this.
Definitely make sure that you jump on Twitter, guys. Let everyone know what's happening right now. Hashtag WCS. Let people know what's going on here. Tweet about it. Facebook about it. Make sure that everyone knows out there. There have been a lot of threats on Team Liquid. We have seen a lot on the Battle.net forums, also on Reddit as well. Just let everyone know that these matches are happening right now. We will cast for a long time today and also tomorrow, and it would be a shame to miss it.
Yeah, certainly would be. So we don't have the players in the lobby just yet. There was a lot of chat, just making sure nothing. You know, okay, they just needed my add me on Real ID. Everything's good. Yeah, we've got, you know, obviously a lot of piggybacking going on in different hosters hosting different lobbies, and so That's why you occasionally see me looking down at the screen like this. I'm not actually like just distracted. I'm just trying to make sure everything is okay and we don't miss the game or anything like that. So forgive me for that. Just want to make sure we're in all of the games so I can give you guys up-to-date real-time counts on workers killed, units lost, things like that.
Yeah, I mentioned a little bit what the first place is receiving if for the winner that is taking down the WCS Season 1 finals. For the second place, we will still have $20,000 and also 2,000 points for the WCS ranking, whereas a third and fourth will still receive 10,000 each and then 1,500 WCS points. And this is a lot if you think about what even Linok, I think he has currently, with his performance in Code S and also his win at DreamHack, he had 1,000 WCS points in total right now. So even with a major tournament win and everything, he's now in a position where he only has 1,000. So if you get third or fourth in this tournament, you already have more than someone who took DreamHack. Here we have a bit of a feed that we we did for like a second or two. That didn't really work out as planned, but it's completely fine. Apparently they had a bit of an issue there.
Yeah, that was everybody just take a moment and look at Dan behind us. Look at him. Just look at him. He's doing a great job over there.
Did you know that Dan did not tuck his shirt in today?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
There's Stefano too.
And I'm not wearing pants, but you can't prove that.
Well, I know you're not wearing pants. I can see.
That would be weird though. We have like an audience behind us, and as soon as they turn around and actually wouldn't wear pants, they could just walk like,
well, you're wearing shorts, really.
It's too hot. I have no idea how you guys do it. I have no clue how they do it, like walking around with long trousers all the time. It's like it's 31 degrees in Korea right now.
Yeah, it's 31, but I don't know. I just don't do shorts. I can't. I did shorts when I was a kid, and then one day I was like, no more shorts.
Nah, I can pull it off.
You can. You wear the shorts well. They're really nice shorts that you've got. It's not just, you're not wearing like one of those.
I'm not showing you.
They don't look like bathing suit shorts or anything like that. It's not like there's those weird like pink shorts that sometimes you see the Korean guys wearing, and you're like, who told him that was okay?
I actually feel like a special agent today.
A special Asian or a special
agent?
Oh, okay.
I mean, I guess I'm a little bit of a special Asian because I've been here for quite some time, but it's not all that fun. But yeah, with the setup that we have here, all the time I have to just pick up my ear and I feel like an FBI agent, and I'm like, yeah, everything is clear over here. You can bring him in.
It's fine. The shorts are good, yeah.
The shorts are looking good. Everything works out. So we are having a quick feed at the main stage game that is currently going on at the venue. TLO is up against Stefano here. We have our European duel, so we are having a quick peek into this game up to the point where OGN is able to set up the next match that we are going to have in Group D. We have no game sound for now, but that's fine, just to keep you to show you guys what's going on here, so
this
that
is
you
really
don't have
cool.
to listen to us the entire time.
We actually get to commentate even more groups than we thought now. Obviously this is not permanent, but we can just kind of take a look here and show you guys what's going on.
Guys, the other streams, I mean, why are you even watching that? This is where all the action is.
Yeah, everybody needs to be tuning in here.
So at this point right now, as you can see, we have a 0. This is the first game between TLO and Stefano. So the series has just started. I don't know about the previous game, how that ended, but for both of these players, it's their first match. So we have the first ZVZ for them. And so far, TLO is just overload hunting.
Yeah. Overlord hunting sends both queens out. Stefano, is that Stefano's drone over there? That's a little bit weird. I thought he was actually going to take a third base, and then I realized that was...
No, it's actually TLO's drone.
Okay, that makes sense.
He's just now taking his third base. But TLO is actually able to run into his opponent's main base. Yes, there are a couple of Zerglings, but he successfully dodged all of those. Banes is now attacking them. Decent damage done here. And now Stefano is actually in a little bit of trouble. He has to be careful. He is still trying to get close with those Banes. We still have Scout in his main base. So at this point, TLO, a lot of aggression, and behind it, he takes his third. And now Stefano is under pressure.
Yep, Stefano under pressure here. And TLO... is going to have to, of course, deal with the counterattack at his third while Stefano takes the third base once more. This is just kind of how ZVZ goes sometimes. You do some damage, then you have to deal with the counterattack because it's always the player who's defending who has the next wave to attack.
A huge lead here in Harvesters for TLO at this point. Stefano going into the lair tech a little bit faster and trying to take down this third TLO. He has to defend. He has to know that he has to do something here. Banelings moving in, trying to trade blow for blow. But both of the Banelings are already gone, and Stefano still has a lot of Zerglings here that could potentially take down that third base.
Yep. And
Wolf,
Well,
he cannot afford to lose this base. Stefano is already taking into Leia, and at the same time, we have the third base being established. Even GameStop now popping in.
I know, it's crazy. The game sounds are here, and it looks like he will actually defend that base. Meanwhile, our other game is actually ready, so we're going to actually leave here. But as you guys can see, as you saw earlier behind us, Artosis is casting this currently, so you can pop on over there and check it out if you're so inclined.
Exactly. If you want to watch the ZVZ, then you can jump on to the second stream of the GSL here on GOMTV.net. We are moving to our game that has just started a few seconds ago. It is Alicia, and he is up against KangHo. Talking about the Zerg player, we have him now to the top left of the match. Game number 1 is taking place on Belshia Vestige. This is the LGIM Zerg player. It is
LGIM KangHo from Korea.
How did he pronounce the Korean name wrong?
I don't know. I don't know how Street Fighter Voice is actually mispronouncing the Korean, but well, we have now to the bottom right, also from Korea, but not really from Korea, the player for Axiom Acer, or for Team Axiom, my apologies. It is
Axiom Alicia from America.
So you mean not actually from America, but not actually from America? Or are you saying, because you said Korean, but not actually from Korea?
Well, both is true, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, it's just a matter of...
matter of perspective.
Yeah, perspective, yeah, well said.
It's just kind of funny, you know, for me also, with us casting the Team League all the time, it's just this Axiom Acer is so embedded in my brain that every time I see one of these players, I'm automatically jumping to that, and it's a little bit interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so we talked about the dominance that we had for Alicia in this matchup, and if you look at the performance that we had for him at the Season 1 America Premier League, you could see that he only lost a single best of 3 against Zerg. He lost against Snoot, but that was the only Zerg player that was able to take him down. Everyone else Alicia defeated. He took down Snoot, he took down Moonglade, he won against Nestea, he took out Sen. He is just such a strong player these days in this matchup, and it's not going to be easy for KangHo, for Lucira here.
Yeah, he is. He's actually only played 3 games against Protoss and Heart of the Swarm in televised matches, and he lost 2 of them, losing to SOS and Panic. The only one he won was in GSTL when he played against Crank in April.
Yeah, one of those being played online, the 2 offline matches that he played, he lost both of them. And this just shows that sometimes there's a huge discrepancy between your offline and your online performance. Yeah. That's something that haunted Hyun for a long time.
Very true, and something else to note is that, those games that he played, he only played a few. He's been playing the other matchups in Code S. Going into this game, though, Alicia is going for a gateway expand. He already has his core almost finished, and KangHo is starting to find out.
He started with double hatch before pool.
That's insane, especially considering he's going up against a gateway build here.
That is nuts. I mean, the guy is taking such a risk in this game. I really saw him going into... I saw him going into the hatch first, and I was like, you know what, this is actually fine. And I wanted to talk about this after we mentioned the statistics in the matchups here. But because it's actually a really smart idea to go into the hatch first these days when so many Protoss players are trying to go into gateway first instead of forge first, so you're kind of safe. Just have to make sure that you know what you're up against. But then suddenly he drops the second hatch, and I'm like, what on earth is he doing? This is amazing. This is... Well,
it actually can work.
It can work. At the same time, it's also risky. This is one of those scenarios when it works, you are a boss. You are an absolute boss, and everyone is like, oh my god, you are so smart. When it doesn't work, you will be completely flamed everyone. People will be like, how can you do that? That could never have worked.
Econ cheese. Somebody's gonna pull out the econ cheese term. You ever hear that? And somebody says econ cheese, and you're like, what?
Yeah, exactly. So then everyone will be like, oh, I knew it from the beginning when I saw that this would not work. As it is, he is very confident in his abilities to make that happen. And we talked a lot about how players will prepare for this group. This is the first game that Lucira, aka KangHo, has to play against Alicia. So you can bet that he prepared a ton for this match. And this is not a build that he just throws out and is like, well, you know what, I'm just gonna try it. He really thought about it, and he analyzed Alicia's play. And with all the games that Alicia played at WCS Season 1 in America, he played a lot of those games on this map in particular. So right now, KangHo is taking a build that he personally thinks will beat Alicia's style.
Yeah, Alicia, the problem for him is he's very blind right now. He has no idea what KangHo did. And maybe this is why he's doing it. He knows Alicia doesn't scout very often. Stargate is shown here to the Overlord, so he knows what's happening. And he can start spores whenever he wants to. With the third hatchery, he has a lot more minerals than you would normally have at this stage of the game, so you can certainly afford the spores. And the Overlord will slowly but steadily be killed here. But the Mothership Core now knows what's going on, and he's got to be a little bit stressed about this.
At this point, we have a 3-base economy for KangHo. He has a really strong count harvesters, and he knows exactly what his opponent is up to. Burrow is being researched. We have also him going straight into the lair tech here, taking the extra gases in the main base. He only built Zerglings so far. He didn't bother with Lings at all. If he now hits good timings to defend against this early aggression, he will be in an amazing position. And what is going to help him a lot with it are those extra queens that he invested in.
Yeah. Time Warp may go down the queens to secure the Zealot some kills here. He needs to be very careful with that Mothership Core because it cannot deal with the queen alone like this.
Oh, what a great block here. Trying to keep those Zealots away from the queens by just using a few drones and putting them on hold position. The Zealots just not understanding what is happening here and trying to push through, but this is great micro that we see by KangHo so far.
Yeah, he holds and he doesn't really lose a whole lot. I mean...
That was a great defense. That was KangHo looking at Alicia and it's like, really? You thought that would do damage?
It's part of the problem is Alicia didn't scout, but, you know, KangHo definitely knowing how to defend just some basic pressure here with his queens, making the additional ones. His lair is already done, by the way, and even though he lost some Overlords, he's already remade them. He starts a Hydralisk Den now.
That timing is amazing. I really love this. The problem that you have with taking early third base against Protoss is that if there is a gateway attack, when the Protoss player starts with a gateway first, of course, then it's so difficult to hold this third. But Alicia, he didn't scout and he just went down he executed his build without reacting to what was actually going on the map, and that is what he's paying for right now. Yes, he's picking off a few Overlords with those Phoenixes, but if KangHo plays this well, then he should have a magnificent lead in this game going up against his pro's opponent.
Yeah. Rebellious Support Bay now on the way, and that's of course going to help him against the Hydralisk, but KangHo has a few timings he can use depending on how many Hydras he wants to make. He's definitely going to get this cancel down on the Nexus. The Lings go over there and say no.
Losing the queens was an issue, or at least the one queen that we saw being picked up, but oh, he gets both of the sentries, and he doesn't even have speed.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. Don't ask me.
I'm speechless, Wolf. This is like, without speed links taking down both sentries, forcing a cancel on the third base. Can he get any better than that?
Maybe he got 3 sentries. That's the only way.
But now look at the tech that we have here. Going into the Hydralisk, Hydra speed, armor upgrades. He could have saved a few additional Overlords, but if you disregard that, the opening for KangHo is great.
It's ideal, and now it looks like Alicia might just try to hit a Colossus timing. Well, he does remake the third, but the thing is, now that KangHo has this many Hydras and he has the Hydra speed, he can actually walk across the map and hit that third base before the Colossi is ready, or at least before the second one is there. He's not going to have a lot of gateway units to support it.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if he's actually going to do it, but he could at least apply some pressure. The thing is, he doesn't start any additional attack. And he does not... Well, he knows about the attempt to take the third earlier, but he doesn't know if Alicia tries to retake it, or if Alicia is just now looking at the games like, you know what, screw this, I have to attack right now, I can't take the third anymore. So as soon as he finds that out, he will probably also add additional attack, but for now you're completely right. He's just building up a massive army, and he could use it in a very aggressive fashion. But I would expect him to try to take a fourth base behind this.
Yeah, I agree. And he's kind of missed his window now. See, he's moving across the map, but the second Colossus along with range will be here soon. Great micro here by Alicia. Tries to pick up a Hydra. Doesn't lose any of his Phoenixes. Doesn't get the Hydra either, but, you know, he's just trying to delay this as much as he can. He starts cannons now. And even though he has the second Colossus about to pop out, I'm still not sure if he's going to be able to hold this.
You know, without range, the Hydralisks have soon to be the same range as the Colossi. It's just not there yet. The range upgrade is done, though. Now they have exactly the same range, and now suddenly he can attack this Colossus.
Oh,
and the
he's got a great flank.
Immediately, another one comes in from the right, but the first one is already down.
Phoenix is going in here to help out, and Alicia, even though he's got a lot of damage on that Colossus, he doesn't have any support for it really. Even the cannon on the Nexus is not enough.
He's not able to push through quite yet, KangHo that is. The problem really being the cannons and the additional setup with the photon overcharge that we see at the third base. But the pressure that we see is really worth a lot. And he's picking off units left, right, bottom and center every single time. A Phoenix here, a Zealot there. He's doing a good job, and once those Lings get into the main base, it might actually be curtains for Alicia.
Yeah.
Alicia is walking a very thin line here.
You know, left, bottom, and center. In this case, it's going to be mostly the center as he breaks through the wall. Sends the Lings over. Now there's not a lot of gateway units here for Alicia. The Hydra's doing so much at the back. The Phoenix is not very useful here. The Time Warp not useful either, and that Colossus will certainly fall.
The Zerglings running in, and the Hydralisks, they lend their strength to this attack. Another Colossus comes out and saves Alicia's backside for now. Now the Colossus just pushing the Zerglings barely back.
And the Muta transition is on the way. 12 of them on the way as we speak.
Oh, 12 of them at... you know, if you... He had such a good economy behind this, and him having 12 Mutalisks that are unscouted of all things. I mean, it's not like we have an observer somewhere on the map that sees like, okay, well, you go Mutalisks, yeah, I have my Blink already, set up a few Stalkers.
The 4 non-Blink Stalkers that Alicia has to defend this are not adequate.
No, not at all. And the 4th base, as expected, is they've been built behind it. KangHo's macro is mind-blowing at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's had too much time, and the Observer doesn't even see the Mutas. It's way too late. He already had the Blink on the way, but he doesn't have a Mothership Core for overcharge. He doesn't have any cannons. And, I mean, what is he going to do? He starts 3, 4, 5, 6 Stalkers at once, but they're all in range of the Muse. The Muse actually just fight them here.
Yeah, they're immediately being attacked while they're being warped in. No problem.
And the bounce damage also kills probes. Well, I mean, he can fight the Stalkers and kills probes at the same time.
Alicia is going for a counter-aggression. He's looking at this like, I cannot play this game. I cannot play this. There is just no way. I have to do something. I'm being attacked at the 3rd. I'm being attacked in the main base. He has Mutalisks.
Targeting the pylons is so smart here. Oh, goes for the core instead. This is even more intelligent.
But Wolf, to be quite frank with you, with all those spine crawlers that KangHo builds now, with him being on 4 bases and just building Mutalisks, Mutalisks, and Mutalisks, I do not see a scenario where Alicia can win a base race against.
I don't think so. He'll never be able to kill the Mutalisks. As long as he can keep some drones alive. There's not enough anti-air. Lings come out here. They're going to buy just enough time. The rest of the Mutas should be able to clear this army up. Blink is almost finished. Alicia trying to make this work. Finally send some units over to defend the Hydras.
But there's not enough anti-air. These few Stalkers that we have, even with the Guardian Shield, the Mutalisks are just going to take them apart in seconds, and that's exactly what's happening here. The Mutalisks are having a field day. There's no Mothership Core for recall.
The Ling's about to come down that ramp. Oh, a good force field here, but it's still not enough. The Colossi doing massive amounts of damage, but it's the problem of the anti-air.
Yeah, I mean, the base is down, but he still has 2 additional ones, 3 in total, and the entire army is just being obliterated here. Alicia is down to 70 supply against 115.
He never killed the Hydras on the left side. Those Zealots actually did not do the job, so he lost every single probe at that base. Finally cleans them up as I speak.
He's now done with the Cybernetics core, so he can start to warp in additional Stalkers in addition to the Phoenixes that he was starting to build. The problem is, though, he never built up that bank behind it that he can now use to make it happen.
Right. Now he's a 3-base Zerg up against a Protoss that has 3 bases, yes, but there's not a single probe mining minerals in the main base. The 3rd base is very low on saturation. GG.
Alicia acknowledging what KangHo already knew. This game is over. We have a 1-0 lead now for the Korean player.
Yes.
So for the LGIM Zerg here. KangHo with an amazing game.
Amazing game. Risky strategy. Great execution.
Exactly. So behind all of this, the one thing, of course, that you have to keep in mind is the opening that we saw. This was not your standard opening against Protoss. This was KangHo taking a very calculated risk. He analyzed the style of his opponent, and he was like, okay, you know what? With how you play and your scouting patterns, if I go into double hatch before pool and you stick to your usual style, I will get such a huge lead in the game that I can overwhelm you. And that's what happened.
Right.
If we had a different opening for KangHo, that would be a very, very different game.
Or, I mean, I assume you mean that a different opening from Alicia.
No, more for KangHo. Like, if he plays standard, then he won't be able to get the units out with the timings that he had and also not the amount of units.
Like if he had gone for a more normal 3rd base timing.
Exactly.
Like you would have seen against a Forge.
Pool before Hatch, for example. What you would do against a Forge player or when you really don't know what your opponent started with.
And the advantage you get from that 3rd hatchery is not only the saturation, which comes later, but also all that extra larva that you get. The extra larva gives you the faster drones, which then allows you to make more queens, which is how he was able to defend the attack in the first place.
Because, you know, I'm not 100% sure about it. I want to talk about it in the game, but I actually missed it. I do not think that before he started with the hatch first and then went into the second, I don't really think he scouted that he's against the gateway. I don't think there was a drone scouter on the map. So he played this blind. He really analyzed the style and he was like, I'm going into this. You always play on this map a gateway opening every single time, and you scout late. So I am taking a huge risk. And just think about what would have happened here if there was actually a forge, or if KangHo says like, okay, I don't know what you do, so I have to be careful here. And without a scout, I probably shouldn't open with a hatch first, because if you have a forge, you might cannon me. But he even takes it farther than that, goes into double hatch and then pool. And this is the greediest opening that you could possibly start with against.
If Alicia goes forge and scouts, then he just cannons and wins the game.
Yeah, that's basically it. Even with the drones, if you have like if you know where to build those pylons and cannons, you can stop it.
And you can cannon two places. It would have been horrible. As it is, a very, very, very interesting map choice for Alicia, Neoplanet S. This is a map that is good for Protoss if you can get an early lead, but when it comes to taking your own third base, it can be a little bit rough.
I do not think that we are going to see a third base. I would be very surprised.
Yeah, this is
to
kind
see
of
Alicia
like
take a third. This is a map that you pick as a Protoss if you want to hit a 2-base.
Right, and you know it's so straight up though. It's like he's telling KangHo right now, "Hey, I'm going to hit you with 2-base timing." KangHo's got to be sitting here going, well, if I had any ideas about what I was going to do in Game 2, I'm definitely going to play a little bit safer than I had originally planned if you pick Neoplanet S.
I'm really interested to see this game, because so far for me this series is crazy. Not because the first game was just like this back and forth match where we had one comeback after another, but because of you could see how much thought especially KangHo put into this first map.
Absolutely,
and the style. So he really being a smart player, he tried to get the best out of the opening, and he won the game because of it. Now Alicia with this insane pick going into Neoplanet S kind of signals to KangHo, dude, I'm going to hit you with the 2-base timing, you better be ready.
How does he respond? Or is Alicia going to do something crazy, like take a really fast, risky third because it's not what KangHo expects? I don't think so, but he could.
And you know, there are so many timings to choose from, so KangHo has to scout perfectly. But we're going to find out what Alicia has planned and how KangHo is going to react. Right now, we're jumping into the game on Neoplanet S. We have Alicia versus KangHo. Game number 2 here at the WCS Season Finals.